If you have children, or if you've ever been a child yourself, you may remember the phrase, "Are we there yet?" Now, maybe you don't remember hearing this. But do you know the difference between here and there? The T. The question that is more important when we're adults is not are we there yet, but are we here? There are 3 barriers to being here, and there's one way to be here. Those 3 barriers are multitasking, guilt, and worry. I had a wonderful example prepared for this speech, but all I have to do is look to today to give you an example of why multitasking is the enemy of being here. Just before coming to the meeting, I was upgrading some software, I was preparing a report, I was answering an email, I was answering a text, I was listening to a voicemail, and lo and behold, I found myself halfway across the quad before I realized that I'd left my manual back in my office. Now that was a moment of multitasking. Have you ever seen somebody driving down the highway, talking on the cell phone, putting on their mascara, smoking a cigarette? Multitasking is the enemy of being here and doing one thing right. It's hard enough to do that one thing right. What makes me think that I could do many things right at the same time? So multitasking is something that we should stop. Now the second is guilt. Now what is guilt about? Guilt is about something that I did in the past that is just bothering me. So there I was in the middle of the quad, standing there, realizing that if I went back and got my manual, I would be late for the meeting. And so I felt guilty about having left my manual. And I also didn't want to burden my evaluator with not having a manual. And so I took a second and I just stood there in the middle of the quad and said, what is this moment? This moment is me standing here on the quad without my manual, running late. That's what it is. All of the multitasking and guilt in the world is not going to change that one single bit. So multitasking and feeling guilty about the past do nothing to help us accomplish what is right here in front of you. Worrying about the future. There I was, standing in the middle of the quad, worrying, oh my goodness, what am I going to talk about? Have I prepared my speech enough? Have I practiced it? Can I get my message across? There I am, standing in the quad, without a manual, running late, worrying about what's going to happen when I get here. And here I am. So there was not the question, am I there yet? But am I here yet? And so there, in that moment, I was able to just take breath, turn around, walk back to my office, get my manual, and come in late. Sue me. So multitasking, guilt, and worry are the 3 enemies of being here in the now. So what is it that can help be here in the now? The Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh was once asked, what is it that you Buddhists do that's so special? He said, we eat, we stand, we walk, we sit, we sleep. I said, well, I do all of those things. What's the difference? And he said, when we stand, we know we're standing. When we walk, we know we're walking. When we sit, we know we're sitting. When we eat, we know we're eating. That's the essence of being here in the now. Now, I've tried meditation many, many times, and I'm really bad at it. So meditation did not help me be in the now. Let me tell you what helped me be in the now, and this is something I think will help you. Shaving. Now, I think everybody in this room shaves. We may shave different parts. But I thought, well, what is one thing that I could just concentrate on? And so, in the morning, I took a deep breath and brought myself into the present moment, and I discovered something amazing. That when I only attended to what I was doing, without worrying about what happened in the past, without trying to do more than one thing, without any guilt, there was this symphony of sensations going on. There were sounds that I had not attended to. There were textures, the texture of the water on my fingers, the heat, the cold of the shaving gel, the scrape of the blade across my whiskers, both before and after on a smooth face. There were sights, there were sounds, there was this sense of just amazing, floating, being right there, and just doing one thing. And so, my fellow Toastmasters and most distinguished guests, I encourage you to try one thing, a small thing, like shaving, to bring you into the present moment. Because multitasking, guilt about the past, worry about the future, does not help you get anything accomplished. Madam Toastmaster.